name is Lizelle from Lizelle Loves Books, and welcome back to my channel. I like reading romance books, fantasy romance, paranormal romance, any kind of genre of romance in general. And I also happen to have cerebral palsy, and it would mean the world to me if you subscribe to my channel. Happy Wednesday! Today's video is going to be my series review of The Runaway series by Devoney Perry. I binged the whole series last week. I did it for the Runaway Readathon hosted by Tori from Novel Life and Jess at Peace Love Books. Also, my friend Christy from Christy Reads a Lot also did a series review of the Runaway series. I'll link their channels down below in the description. Please check them out. There are 5 books in the series. The first book in the series is called Runaway Road. Runaway Road is about London, and she catches her husband cheating on her, so she asks for a divorce. And then a few months later, she decides to take a road trip from Virginia, I forgot where she was. She decides to she lived in Boston, and she decides to take a road trip to California with her Cadillac because she wants to see her friends. Because the series is about a group of friends who used to live in a junkyard. And she's going to visit one of those friends, Carson, who lives in California. But as she was taking the road trip with her Cadillac, her car gets stuck in Virginia. And there she meets the mechanic, and she has to spend time in Virginia if she wants to get her Cadillac fixed. So she spends time in Virginia, but while she's doing that, she's spending time with Carson, and they're slowly getting to know each other, and it's their romance. And it was okay. It's not my favorite in the series. It was too insta-love for me. But I liked that their story was very sweet, and I did not see the twist coming at the end. Then I rated this book 3 stars. The next book in that series is called Wilde Highway. And this story is about Gemma. Gemma is one of the kids who used to live in the junkyard with London. And London gives the car to Gemma because she said, "This car helped me find where I belong. Hopefully it can do the same for you." So this series is basically them passing along the car and them trying to find happiness. So Gemma goes to see Catherine, who is one of the girls who grew up with her in the junkyard. And Catherine lives in Montana. And Gemma went to see Catherine once before a few years ago, and she met Easton, and they had a thing, a one night stand thing. Oh, not one, an attraction. No, not a one night stand. They had a mutual attraction with each other, Gemma and Easton. But before it can go anywhere, Gemma goes back to wherever she was originally, and now it's a couple years later. Gemma is a successful business owner, but she sells her business because she doesn't know what she wants to do anymore. So she goes back to Montana to see Catherine. She meets Easton again. They reconnect, and Gemma is just trying to find a place where she belongs, and Easton doesn't want to beg her to stay because what if she leaves again? But once Easton learns about Gemma's past, he falls in love with her, and she with him when she realizes he's just a patient and nice guy. So I really like this book. I like that Easton gave Gemma the home she was looking for. I give this book 4 stars. The third book in this series is Quarter Mile, and this book is about Catherine, Gemma's friend. Catherine has been living in Montana with the Greer family. They look at her as like a surrogate daughter because she moved there for college to Montana. But Catherine has been in love with Cash Greer for a really long time, but he never notices her. One day, he brings his girlfriend to family dinner, and Catherine decides to take the Cadillac on a road trip. And when Cash finds this out, he said it's too dangerous for her to go it alone, so he decides to go with her. So it's a friends to lovers romance, and Catherine opened up to Cash more about her past. And I liked it. I gave it 4 stars, but I thought Cash needed to grovel because once you read the book, he needed to grovel more because once you read the book, you find out he did something for Catherine's sake that didn't turn out the way he expected, and he needed to grovel more, in my opinion. It's a friends to lovers romance. Through this road trip, Cash begins to see Catherine as something more than just a friend. The 4th book in the series is about Arya. It's Arya's turn with the car, and you meet Arya in Forsaken Trail, and Arya who lives in Oregon, goes to visit her sister in Arizona because her sister is sick and she's alone with her nephew, and Arya only visits her when her boss, Brody, her millionaire boss, is out of town because Arya does not like Brody. But when she gets there, she finds out Brody is there, and Brody needs a fake date to this wedding, and her sister Carol was going to be his fake date, but she can't do it because she's sick, so she asked Arya to be Brody's fake date. Arya doesn't like Brody because she thinks he spends money all the time. He doesn't know the value of money. He just spends it on random things. So that's why she never liked Brody, and Brody doesn't like her because he feels like she's too judgy of his actions. And during this wedding where they pretend to be a couple, they get drunk one night, sleep together. Arya goes back to Oregon and she finds out she's pregnant. Once Brody finds out she's pregnant, he begs her to go to Arizona for 1 year because he wants to be part of the baby's life. And through this pregnancy, Arya learns that there's more to Brody than the billionaire facade, and Arya becomes someone Brody can really rely on, who won't expect anything from him, aside from just being in her, aside from wanting to be next to him, to be there for him. But Brody has to learn you cannot buy everything with money, and Arya tells him and lets him learn that aspect. And I really like this book. This book was my favorite in the series. I gave it 5 stars. The last book in the series is Dotted Lines, and it's about Sierra. And Sierra is Arya's twin sister, and she's a single mother, and she takes the Cadillac this time to Carson. Carson is in California. He's the only guy in this group of children that lived in the junkyard. He's the only guy. So I think this is it's Arya's, it's Sierra's romance with Carson. Sierra had a crush on Carson when they were teenagers, but it really didn't go anywhere. So once they're in California and she meets Carson again, they start getting to know each other again and they fall in love. This book was okay. I gave it 3 stars. Most of this book was flashbacks. So that's why I thought it was just okay, because I needed more of them in the present, but I liked that they got their happy ending with each other. So those are all the books in the Runaway series. I gave Runaway Road 3 stars, Wilde Highway 4 stars, Quarter Mile 4 stars, Forsaken Trail 5 stars, and Dotted Line 4 stars. I really like this series. It's a really short series, so if you're looking to get into Devoney Perry's books, this series is a good place to start, because the books are very short. I would love it. It would mean the world to me if you subscribe to my channel. I'll also have Christy's video linked down below in the description, because she did a series review of this series also. See you Friday. Bye.